The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
Hockey is a funny game, oftentimes cruel. Last Friday night, the Badgers played well enough to win, but lost 2-1. The next night, they didn't play as well as they did on Friday night and still beat Penn State 4-3. So after a series split in the final regular season series at the Kohl Center, the Badgers hit the road this weekend to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I'm Brian Posick, the radio voice of Badger hockey, and head coach Mike Eaves joins us next on the Badger Hockey Digest.
The Badger Hockey Digest is brought to you by Charter Communications.
Well, Mike, I mentioned it in the open. You mentioned it at your press conference on Monday. You played better on Friday probably than you did on Saturday. You win on Saturday, not on Friday, but that's the game of hockey, isn't it?
Well, really, the only period that we didn't like was the third period on Saturday.
Yeah.
The 5 out of the 6 were excellent, and it's funny how athletics works. Friday, we were dominant in terms of our scoring chances and lose 2-1, and Saturday, we built a 4-1 lead. Could have been 6-1 after, too. We hit a couple posts on breakaways and such, but we had to cling on to the victory. But the bottom line is we got that win. We got that little win in our sails, and we'll use that this week as we go on to Minnesota.
And I'm sure it felt good for the guys, too, because they've been working their fannies off this weekend.
Oh, no, there was many smiles in that room, and I think a lot of the smiles, too, was the fact that we got to have a senior brunch the next day, and the parents were there, so it was a little easier to have that brunch after a win.
Yeah, the seniors certainly going off victorious. Adam Miller, Eddie Whitko, and Kevin Schulz. That's always a bonus, no question about it. Adam Miller started on Friday and played exceptionally well, deserved to win. Matt Jerusik, viewed from the bench on Friday, came in on Saturday and was remarkable at times, 46 saves.
Well, in the third period, I think he had 21 shots at him, and I just learned this morning that he was third star in the Big Ten this week, and deservedly so, because of the fact that you usually don't see 21 shots in a period, but he did a lot of good things and helped us preserve that victory.
And what was encouraging also about Saturday, you had some different goal scorers as well. Jason Ford lit the lamp. Jedd Soleway for the first time in a long time. Corbin McGuire, who's on defense now, sneaks back door, gets a beautiful saucer pass from Grant Bessie, and Aiden Cavallini sets up Matthew Freitag. Normally we're talking about Cunnin, Bessie, and Hughes and guys like that lighting the lamp. It was 4 different guys.
Oh, the question was asked after the game about the fact that those guys scored, and I said if you were to follow sports and you were to look at the National Hockey League and you find games that are won and you find that the supporting cast scores goals, you usually win. And that was the case for us on Saturday night. Those guys came through. We don't ask them to bear a lot of that responsibility, but we do ask them to chip in, and every line chipped in that night, and that helped us get the win.
Yeah, I think Jedd Soleway thinks he should be scoring 15 or 20 a year. He's kind of been snake bitten, but he fired that one. He picked up that puck and shot it. It
was a power play goal. It was on a line rush, and it was a quick catch and release, and he has a heavy shot, and goaltender wasn't able to handle it. So actually, we had a talk that morning about the frustration level that he has, and he's been doing little things on the ice before and after practice to try to get back that loving feeling, so to speak. But I was happy, and you could tell when he scored, Luke Cunnin jumped into his arms. He was happy for his teammate.
Yep. Badgers getting ready for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's been a beautiful week here in Madison. Golfing weather. Jedd Soleway's a pretty good golfer. We'll tell you more about that coming up in a moment.
Game night. That magical weekly gathering where lands are conquered. And you get trapped in the dungeon that is your bedroom. But you've got blazing fast Spectrum internet. So Kevin and his friends have enough bandwidth to play together. And you have enough left over to find a new apartment. Get 60 megabits of dragon-slaying speed with Spectrum internet. Where will it take you?
This is Andrew Zielsdorf. He plays hockey. This is leukemia. It's bad business. This is Andrew's oncology team. They love Andrew. They don't like leukemia. And thanks to them, Andrew is now cancer-free. Booyah. They are the world-renowned physicians, scientists, and nurses at the American Family Children's Hospital, pioneers in pediatric cancer care. UW Health. Remarkable.
Well, as the radio voice of Wisconsin hockey, I get to meet a lot of pretty cool people. There are a couple of fathers who have actually come up to me and offered me golf because they like how I broadcast the games. Barry Linhart wants me to come out and play golf. Scott Johnson was in from California this past weekend and said, whenever you come to Santa Barbara, let's play a round of golf. I don't know if I'll ever get to Santa Barbara. But Jedd Soleway is a young man who was not a very good golfer. He's a big lad, 6'3" or so, 220 pounds. He's built like a tank. When he started golf, he wasn't very good, but he's got a golf course right outside his home in Vernon, British Columbia called Predator Ridge, and he kept working at it, and last summer he shot a 73. Now golf, usually you got to keep it in play to be effective, but golfing also comes down to putting, and Jedd has a very odd putting style.
It's a bit of a combination between hockey and golf. It was something that I worked on this year as well. The putting was going to shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and and I decided to change it up. And on the practice green, I'm pretty good. And I basically just don't think. I face the hole a little bit more and just swing away. So I decided one day to, bring that to the course, and they started dropping. So now, even if I have bad days with that putting stroke, I still stick to it. I'm pretty confident in that putting stroke now. It's kind of like a 45-degree turn with the shoulders, kind of like a hockey pass, but similar putting stroke.
Okay. Nothing but the bottom of the cup, right?
Yeah, that's all I think about. It's all that's going through my head. It's just that ball going in the cup, and it works.
So Happy Gilmore-ish style putting for Jedd Soleway. You're a golfer. I don't know, what is it about hockey players? They all seem to be able to hit the thing a country mile. Jedd said he can hit a tee shot over 350 yards.
Well, there are similarities because we're using an extended appendage, our hockey stick, when we play the game, and golf is the same. You have an extended appendage, and there's that eye-hand coordination, and then your hands through the ball. Now, it's a different plane that you have to adjust a little bit, but there are similarities for sure.
What's the best score you ever shot?
I broke 80 once. I broke 80
Okay.
once in my life, and I enjoy the game. It's funny, I golf with my father-in-law, Mr. Bennett, and he's in his 92 now, and he still golfs. And Pops was a little bit about, I'll just go out to the fairway where you guys hit. I says, Pops, you hit from the tee. We know where your ball is. It's like I learned in the Army, left, right. So, but it's a great game because you can play it a lifetime.
All right, 2 games left in the regular season. Wisconsin's at Minnesota this weekend, and redemption has been the theme, hasn't it, Ben?
Well, it has. It's been a taste in our mouth here. Unfortunately, on a night where we had our biggest crowd at the Kohl Center, we had over 13,000 people. It was a night that everything that Minnesota shot went in the net. There was 30 shots and 9 goals went in, and it was just it was a bad feeling. And we have a chance to get some redemption, and redemption is about atoning for oneself, and we have that chance this weekend.
Yeah, and Minnesota has a lot to play for. 1 win, and they clinch the regular season Big Ten title. It'd be kind of fun to go up and spoil that, wouldn't it?
They have a lot. So both teams have a reason to play hard on Friday night, and then we'll do battle on Saturday as well.
What's most effective? Is it the same Minnesota team we're accustomed to seeing, do you think?
It is. I mean, there are a bunch of guys that can skate well and have good skill, and they play well together. So it's not much different from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and we've seen you play against teams like that and play well against teams like that.
We have a good battle plans when we play against a team like that, and if we can go in there and execute the things that we talk about this week and during the course of the season, and we have an opportunity to do the things we want.
Yep, and the history of your clubs going up to Mariucci, 8 of the last 10 years, you've had at least 1 point. Oftentimes it's a win. You've swept them up there a couple of times too. So you have a history in that building. It's not as intimidating as some people may think.
Well, it's about playing well, and you have to go in there and play well and do the right things, have good goaltending, good specialty teams, and compete. I think that if we can go up there and do those things again, we give ourselves a chance to do the things we want.
All right, Mike, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sure, that's Badgers head coach Mike Eaves. Wisconsin and Minnesota this weekend. Friday's game starts at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN News. The finale Saturday also at 7. It's on the Big Ten Network. We also have both games on the Badgers Sports Network. For Mike Eaves, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.